Okay, good night everyone. Today I'm going to talk about something about this project, ProN's effective analysis, and we'll specifically take low area for example. Let's first take a look at the agenda of today's presentation. First, I like to figure out the problem we're faced with, and then we have the objective of our project. Then I will briefly introduce about the data and the methodology we employ in this project. Then I'll focus specifically on these two parts, findings and recommendations. Okay, so what problem do we have now? Let's take a look at two charts. The first one is about the mean value of pictorial fixation. There are two bars, one is L'Oreal and the other is for all brands. And the second chart is about the mean value of brand fixation. It's also about L'Oreal and all brands. There is a very significant contrast before these two bars. As we can see that L'Oreal is significantly lower than all other brands in terms of mean value of pictorial fixation and brand fixation. So what does this mean to us? It's common sense that the more time or the more attention you put on an advertisement, the more effective it is. So according to this, we can see that the problem we're faced with is L'Oreal has relatively low ANS effectiveness compared with all other brands. With this problem, we have our objective, that is to improve L'Oreal's ANS effectiveness. Okay, now I will briefly introduce about the data. The data comprises of two parts. The first part is about the eye movement data, and the second part is about the memory task data. First is about this eye movement data is collected by this eye tracking technique, and in this part we have two parts of data, brand fixation and pictorial fixation. With this, we can analyze what variables will affect these two dependent variables and find ways to improve brand fixation and pictorial fixation. In the second stage, the respondents, they will face a task, that is to pick up the correct brand when they are presented with this very mixed image. And in this part, the respondents' recall time and the recall accuracy will be collected. And then we will analyze what factors will affect their recall time and accuracy. And then we'll further analyze what factors will affect ANS effectiveness. About the methodology, there is a widely used measure to assess ANS effectiveness that is called START test. It will measure respondents' recall of ANS based on their memory after they are exposed to the ANS. And based on their findings, they consistently think that size, serial position, and page location, they are all relevant variables that may impact ANS effectiveness. These previous findings may provide us with some insights as to what variables will affect ANS effectiveness. And based on their findings and the data set we have, we will use generalized linear regression models. Specifically, there are Poisson regression models and binary regression models to analyze the data we have. Okay. Based on our outputs produced by SAS using these models, we produce several recommendations to L'Oreal to improve their ANS effectiveness. The first one is that they should increase their size of brand element to improve their ANS effectiveness. Why is it so? Let's look at a set of data. For every 1 inch square increase in brand size, there will be a 60.9% increase in their in customers' brand fix. And when brand fix increases, it will increase the customer's recall accuracy after they are exposed to the ANS. So we can conclude that increase in brand size will enhance the probability that a brand is recalled accurately by customers. This is the first one advice we give to L'Oreal to improve their ANS effectiveness. And the second thing is that besides the brand size, they also should increase the size of pictorial it can also increase their brand's effectiveness. Let's see, for 1 unit inch square increase in pictorial size, it will lead to 1.8% increase in pictorial fix. When pictorial fix increase, the respondents, they are more likely to recall the brands correctly, and there will be a 2.7% increase in their recall accuracy. So similarly, we can conclude that increase in pictorial size will also enhance their probability that they can recall the brand correctly. So if the advertisements are given enough space, they definitely should increase both the size of pictorial and the brand. But most of the time, they're faced with limited space. So what should they do when they're faced with this dilemma? They should focus on the brand size. And because according to this data, we can obviously see that increasing brand size is more effective than increasing pictorial size, and it should be prioritized accordingly. Okay, next recommendations we have for low area is always to put the end on the right fold of a page to increase end's effectiveness. Why is it so? Because when you put the end to the right fold of a page, it can increase a lot of indexes. To be specific, the brand fixation will increase by 76% if you put your end on the right side of a page. And the pictorial fixation will also increase by 10%. Then is the recall accuracy. It will increase by nearly 14% if you put the end on the right side of a page. Okay, these are the recommendations we have for low area. And now is a summary to help you clarify the structure of this presentation. First, I introduced about the problem and the objective we have in this project is to improve low area's end's effectiveness. And then we used the generalized linear regression model as the methodology to analyze the data we have. About the findings, we find that the signs of brand and pictorial, page position, they all affect end's effectiveness. Accordingly, we produce several recommendations, that is to enlarge brand and pictorial size and place the ends on the right side of the page to increase end's effectiveness. So this is normally what I want to talk about today. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me. Okay, thank you.